Well, at 36-0 down, it's hard to know what Matt Crowther can say to his side to encourage him, because they're staring down the barrel as the tries came more frequently in the second half. And I think the only thing that Loch Lane can be happy about in the first half is that Halifax did most of the scoring in the last 20 minutes of the first half, because it could have been a big score already by now. It looks like it may be at the end of this game. Little chip through from Lawford, taken at the back by Paul Couch, who's taken one for his troubles. I think it's the scrum half that's down on the floor. David Larder has finally got on for Halifax, playing with a bitingly cold wind at the backs in the second half. And I think Anthony Farrell will expect more of what happened in the second 20 minutes of the first half than he did in the first. As regards possession, Halifax built it up a few times. And they also tried the fancy passing across the face of the post a couple of times. And eventually, once it settled down, the tries came. Although it's difficult to, obviously, to moat yourself against amateur opposition. Here goes Blackwood again in for his second. Some good interpassing that time. Halifax keeping the ball alive, making it look so easy. And even though there were defenders' hands once again on the Halifax centre, it was far too big and far too strong, and forced his way over the line for his second of the evening and the third of his Halifax career. And a perfect start to the second half for Halifax. They move on. It's Halifax 40, Casford Loch Lane 0. Danny Jones keeps up the 100% record with his 7th conversion. Danny Jones. So quickly moves on to Halifax 42, Castleford Loch Lane 0. And now potentially Matt Crowther will be thinking back to 12 months ago when they suffered a 96-0 defeat at the hands of Featherstone, and it looks to be heading that way this evening as Larder brings the ball out from behind the try line for Halifax. Here goes Sharif again, and he's seen a bit of a gap, and this time it's the forwards that are alert to the winger's potential as Halifax move away. Ben Fisher also on for Halifax at the opening of the second half. Birchall running as the dummy runner. Greenwood driving it up. Last tackle as Fisher goes again. Lawford looks to put the full-back under pressure, and he drops the ball this time. Pushes it behind the line, and it'll be a drop out under the post. Well, Chaser's bearing down on him. Perfect height on Lawford's kick. And Loch Lane not in a rush to get the ball back into play. Referee not in a rush, so yes, he'd stop the clock. Gibson to Corcoran, Corcoran to Wisner, quickly onto Greenwood, stands and unloads back to Corcoran, and Corcoran goes up the middle into the heart of the Loch Lane defence, 20 metres out. Halifax come back to the left hand side with Fisher to Greenwood, and Fisher goes again from acting half, long ball out wide, chance on here. Sharif will chase the winger down. Well, it's actually the centre, so he ain't going to have the pace anyway. Isn't Carl Saville on the Halifax defence, but he's brought it back to halfway. A long pass, well, it would have been a 4-pointer there if they'd gone into Sharif's hands. There was no doubt about that. Number 8 Mark here and number 10 Callum Senior, both props still on for Castleford Loch Lane as they appeal for the tackle count to be back down. The referee holds the hand in the air, and a kick that won't trouble Damien Gibson too much as he sees that Loch Lane light on this side. Here goes Sharif, round 2 again, away from the third, almost took one from Ray's upstairs there, and his pink brushes away the defence and gets away to Birchall. Birchall to Fisher. Fisher trying to get it and play it up quickly. Larder out to Wisner. Wisner to Sharif. Takes the ball back inside on halfway. Wisner to Larder. Larder up to the Loch Lane 40. Fisher to Lawford. Lawford running at the defence, unable to stand long enough to get the offload away to Gibson. Gibson brings Blackwood back inside. Blackwood is this time held by the Loch Lane defence 19 metres out from the line. Lawford, another kick through. It's come off a Castleford hand, and Gibson will go over. It was
Halifax Transfer, sponsored by Peter and Julian Clayton. Number 1, Damien Gibson.
And 7 tries quickly becomes 8 for Halifax. Loch Lane defender putting his hand out to try and stop the kick from Lawford, but it bounced off his hand and up into the arms of Damien Gibson. Who in turn gives Danny Jones an opportunity to stretch Halifax's lead to 48-0.
And converting the try, sponsored by the Moorcock Inn, number 6, Danny Jones.
So Danny Jones rapidly approaches 50 for the season. Now what, 42 points in his personal tally so far. 19 goals and a try. As Halifax bring it back again in the shape of David Larder. Gareth Greenwood takes the ball inside. Jody Sharif waits to come back on. Spink It's Birchall on a short pass into the defence. 3 men waiting for him. Lawford kicks crossfield, full-back's under pressure, but the ball will go into touch. And that, I think, is a 40-20 from Dean Lawford. Well, Steve Nicholson, very short signal initially for the 40-20. Not sure whether he was in two minds or not. There was never any danger. It was a monster kick from the Halifax number 7.
Replacing number 1, Damien Gibson. Number 16, Chris Birchall. Number 8, George Sharif. And number 10, Jason Bolts.
Wisner to Spink. Corcoran running the angles, bringing the runners on, and gets the ball out wide. And Haley will get his second, despite the protests of the Loch Lane bench, who said there was 2 offsides there. But James Haley will get his second.
Sponsored by Alpha Boilers. Number 2, James Haley.
Well, this match now turning into what was expected in the first place, with an absolute annihilation. It didn't look like it in the first 20 minutes, but once Halifax clicked into gear, the tries starting to come, and continuing in the second half. That's the 9th try this evening. Well, Halifax not needing a fullback apparently from now, as Damien Gibson's left the field, and Anthony Farrell's sent 2 forwards on, and Danny Jones has got his most difficult kick of the evening from way out on that far touch line. Can kick him. It might just have enough. It's just dropped short of the post. So Danny Jones stays on 8 conversions and 42 points for the season. But I am sure with the time that remains, that won't be his last attempt at the 2-pointer, unless Anthony Farrell decides to tinker with the half-back pairing. I think it's a different combination at half-back every match so far for Anthony Farrell, with injuries to Ben Black and Dean Lawford at various stages. Another threatened injury to Dean Lawford this weekend, but managed to shake it off to take his place this evening, as Larder runs it out, fires the ball out to Sharif. Once again he has to cut inside. The numbers are there. And still keep turning. The 3-man tackles do for the Loch Lane side, which of course makes it all the more difficult to catch the attacking side when they do break. Lawford, Jason Bolts on, and Bolts stands and tries at all costs to release the ball, but Darren Sims clinging on to him as Larder gets through the defence, just can't get the arms free. Lawford, kick and chase, and the ball has bounced up kindly for the winger Tillett on that far side, although the chase is there and the tackle's made about 10 metres out from the Loch Lane line. Halifax defence moving in again very quickly. Danny Jones has dropped to full-back, so he's obviously already tinkering with the half-back partnership, is Anthony Farrell. Let's just give him perhaps a chance to see what other combinations are like in that position. Well, he's got the opportunity. Ball goes forward. No advantage, so the scrum will form. Mistake from Paul Birdsall. Lawford feeds the scum. Andy Spink drops to stand off and takes the ball up into the Loch Lane 20. Fisher acting half as Corcoran sends the dummy runners, but the Loch Lane defence watching this time, not giving him the room they did previously when he set early up. Lawford gives it to Bolts, and Bolts will charge through into a head-high tackle under the post. Well, there's no question over that. The head of the big prop went back. Referee Steve Nicholson not happy with the play of the ball. Still indicating the penalty as Corcoran gives the pass to Blackwood. Once again, Loch Lane have 3 defenders there, although Blackwood was coming back into heavy traffic with the angles that he ran. This time the ball goes loose. And Wayne Corcoran getting involved with somebody. This is the sort of thing Anthony Farrell was trying to get his team to guard against. It was just a minor incident. There was plenty of bodies went in, but I think it was just to pull players out rather than continue the battle. And it's Mark Spears who's pulled out the Loch Lane standoff. So this could be another Halifax penalty. If it is, it'll be the 8th. They're not short on penalties. Loch Lane have only had 3. Well, he's not going to give one this time, despite the length of time he spent talking to the standoff. So Loch Lane will have the pleasure of trying to bring the ball out of their own 20 again. And Halifax have had all the possession in this second half so far. They're probably likely to have more suit for the remaining minutes. It's loose forward Paul Birdsall, unable to get up and play the ball. Fullback Carl Robinson still trying to stop the play there as the ball was played to him. Penalty to Loch Lane will help their cause away for their own line. Carl Saville took the quick tap. I don't know what he expected to gain from that, but then it was pulled back and sense prevailed as Mark Spears made more yards with the boot than the centre would have did with ball in hand. Bateman driving the ball up first for Loch Lane, who are now over the 40. Spears, the standoff, good ball to the fullback Robinson. Robinson swamped by Larder and Wisner. And that big hit by Jody Sharif. Charging to the man. Really dumping him to the ground. Mark Keir felt that one. Long pass out wide. Bounce up kindly off the floor into the arms of Bateman. And escaped the clutches last tackle. And Castleford are still just inside the 40. Well, referee waved it back to 1. The Castleford man obviously never thought out about it, but then Halifax penalised for offside. So Loch Lane still looking for the first score, and Jody Sharif will give away another penalty. 5 penalties, and the ball squeezed out. Long pass out to the far side, but Halifax move out and cover the danger. Keir pumping his legs towards the Halifax line. Lachlan trying to move it out wide. Stand-off Kia pushing men away and then allowed to get the pass away to Callum Senior, who's put down 12 metres out in front of the post. Calling the metre on his knees. Kick behind the defence, and Sharif will pick it up and try and clear the lines for Halifax. But Lachlan sent 5 men in to push put Sharif down behind his own line. So Halifax will be forced to drop out.
Lachlan substitution, replacing number 13, Paul Birdsall, number 15, Stuart Arundel.
The big kick from Lawford, and Carl Robinson will be waiting for the ground to open up and swallow him as he's knocked on yet again. Well, had plenty of time. Another huge kick from Lawford, putting the ball into the opposition half of the field. Lawford to Wisner. Wisner on to Andy Spink. Likes this side of the field. Ran right against Halifax when he played for Batley last season down this near side. Wisner goes back inside. Fisher fires the ball out to Lawford. Quick movement from Halifax. Corcoran seeing a bit of a gap. Takes the standoff with him, and Spears sticks to him to make the tackle. Jones to Lawford. Lawford to Wisner. Spink hands off the first attempted tackle, and Lachlan throwing bodies all over the place to stop the Halifax onslaught. Lawford to Jones. Quick hands may have brought more there, and Lawford. Jones will be pulled back for the deliberate shepherd.
Castleford Lachlan substitution, replacing number 9, Darren Sims, number 14, Steve Thickbrew.
Well, trying everything now. It's Castleford moving the ball out wide, but Halifax moving out in numbers with them. And Kia still driving the ball up, but it comes loose. And Halifax will turn defence into attack as Wisner looks for somebody on that far side. Corcoran shows it, and that was almost taken by the Lock Lane side, and then in an attempt to keep the ball alive, Wayne Corcoran just holding the ball with one hand too long, loses a possession back to the Castleford side. Good hit from Bolts and Sharif, but there's a knock on. So obviously fingers getting cold again as both sides failing to keep hold of possession. Jones looks for the gap and doesn't find one. Fisher, who's certainly fires the ball out from acting half, chases it round for the quick play. Fisher turns it back to Greenwood. Greenwood to Wisner. Jones trying to step again, unsuccessfully through the Lock Lane defence. Halifax 15 metres away. Lawford turns it back to Spink, and Spink quite surprised, I think, by the ball bouncing off his chest there. Larder takes 3 men with him. Has he got the ball down? The answer no, so Halifax will come back to the 10. For the 5th tackle, Lawford will drill the ball towards the post, and it's come off a Castleford player. He stuck his leg out for it, but referee has said it'll go for the tap on the 20. Well, some strange decisions. The referees are a man stood on his own there, and the ball, he took his leg out for the ball, there was no doubt about it. Well, it looks like the Lock Lane side are maybe not going to suffer the same fate as they did at Featherstone last year. They've knocked on and given Halifax possession again. Halifax will begin the next set of 6, 5 metres inside the Lock Lane half. Spink once again drops out to stand off. First man went too high and bounced off the second rower. Jones turns it back inside to Greenwood. Greenwood bouncing off 3 men and ricocheting back onto a couple of defenders on the retreat. Lawford brings Larder back on the inside, and Larder almost through. Some tiring defence. Lawford to Wisner. Wisner has managed somehow to turn round, get the ball over the line, and that will be Halifax's 10th try this evening, coming from captain Pat Wisner. Looked like he was held. Somehow his determination, greater than that, the will to succeed by the Lock Lane defence, enabled the Halifax captain to turn round and somehow get the ball down. Scored on to Halifax 56, Lock Lane 0. Danny Jones started missing the target with the half century of points inside. That's his second failure. Somehow I don't think that'll reflect on his performance tonight. Kicked 8 from 10 and scored a try. Not a bad effort for a man who's not really a first choice half-back when Ben Black's fit, but he's taking his chance, certainly with a boot anyway. 19 goals for the season, and underneath the kick as well to give it to David Larder. Fisher. Oh, here comes Ricky Sharif again, gets away from the first one through sheer determination, and that first one was John Paul Breers, who comes back and has a second go. Too high for the referee's liking. Too high for Sharif's liking, but Halifax turn away and don't get involved this time. And Wisner puts the ball into the opposition half on the 40-metre line. Wisner, long ball out wide to Greenwood. Greenwood steps inside. Defence get across to put him down. As Halifax pour forward again towards that Lock Lane line with Jason Bolts. Lawford shimmies through, gets the ball to Larder. Larder turns it back inside, and a try for Jody Sharif. And Lawford has gone away looking a little worse for wear. And that looks like not a serious injury, but certainly a bit of a shocker for Dean Lawford there. We managed to hobble off on it, but it could be any sort of injury. Hoping it's not too serious. But Halifax has tally quickly here, added to Lawford and Larder doing good work and putting Sharif over, and Dean Lawford is walking gingerly on that right foot. Seems to walk alright, but has trouble as he turns it inside. Won't take no further part, but that's only a precaution. Seems to be an injury that he can actually run off. Well, that's for the second consecutive game. Dean Lawford's come straight off to put an ice pack on. Well, Danny Jones really going off the boil with his third miss. That's third consecutive miss as Greenwood pushes away the first tackle, then brings Blackwood on the inside, and Blackwood's off again down that far side. And the Lock Lane defence having trouble getting to grips with him, finally bring him down just inside the 40. Jason Bolts drives the balls up. Ben Fisher calling the shots, fed by O'Brien. Wisner brings Spink back on the inside. Here comes Jones, bounced away from one. That almost looked like an high tackle that he went into. Birchall will replace Jason Bolt. Close to the ground for Fisher, ball back inside again, and Greenwood's only half stopped, and then two men finally swamp him and put him down in front of the post. Fisher will turn it back inside to Wisner. Wisner to O'Brien. Halifax trying to keep it alive with fingertips, and it's Corcoran that comes up with it and then switches the ball over to Larder, and Halifax have a 2-on-1 on that far side with Blackwood, who doesn't need Haley. He's got the ball down as Anthony Blackwood, and that'll be a hat-trick for the centre on his return from injury. Makes it up to around dozen for the tries with the centre. And Halifax racking up the points. It's Halifax 64, Castleford, Lock Lane 0. Six minutes left. Another difficult kick from Danny Jones from the far side. In fact, it's, I think, Wayne Cochran that's taken over the kicking duties now. It is. Well, referee stopping the clock for an injury to a Loch Lane player. Back on his feet, so maybe not that serious, although he does look pretty groggy. Nice precautions. receiving a lot of attention as a Castleford player. Took a while to get to his feet as well. Danny Jones will now resume. Wayne Corcoran will resume from that far side. Wayne Corcoran hits the post and the ball comes back the wrong way. But Halifax have equalled the try tally of the first half.
Official attendance is 747 tonight's attendance. Thank you very much for your support on this Friday night. And this evening, Sport Research UK, man of the match, goes to Halifax, number 7, Dean Lawford. And this evening's cutting edge carpets hitman, that goes to Halifax, number 10, Jason Bolts.
Oh, the restart with about 5 minutes left. Danny Jones gives it, only popped the ball, but I think it's Gareth Greenwood that's made the mistake. And so, one last chance perhaps for Loch Lane to post a try. Andy Tillett trying to drive his way through. Some wag on the Castleford bench is shouting go for a drop goal. So they come away with at least a point. Well, they're queuing up, and well, they're not really queuing up. There's more bundling up in the middle of the field from the Loch Lane players. And they're relying on the forwards to push towards that Halifax line. Mark Spears is standing off, but he's as big as a forward. Little chip through, Spink picks it up. I don't think somehow that Andy Spink has the capabilities to go the full length of the field. Sharif has, he'll run from acting half. Seeing lots of space on that far side. Greenwood takes it this time, and Greenwood turns it back inside to Fisher. Fisher skips past one. Foot race to the post. Well, he's got Sharif in support. This will be try time for Ricky Sharif. And Sharif starts the move from acting half, finishes it off after some swift passing and some exhilarating pace, especially from Ben Fisher and Gareth Greenwood. And Ricky Sharif, 13 tries for Halifax this evening. Sharif with his second. And Halifax 68, Castleford, Loch Lane 0. Well, if it's any consolation for Matt Crowther, they've actually improved on the performance of Featherstone by around about 28 points. So Wayne Corcoran will try once again to convert from that far side, a little bit nearer. About 2 minutes left. It's time for kick-off perhaps, and another 6 tackles. Corcoran manages to get the third conversion of the second half for Halifax, and that makes it Halifax 70, Castleford Loch Lane 0, in front of only 747 supporters on a very cold night. It's next couple of weeks will be the more telling for Anthony Farrell, with the visit of Hull Kingston Rovers next week, and then wrapping up away to Keighley in the Northern Rail Cup. Prove a sterner test than the amateurs from Castleford have, but got a few quid out of it, of Castleford Lock Lane. Larder. Drives it forward. Danny Jones. Gareth Greenwood almost lost it again, managing to regather it. Birchall taking inside ball off Fisher. Fisher gets it to Jones. Halifax have men queuing up on this side with seconds to go. Is there a chance for Sharif to get his hat-trick? Steps inside one, steps inside two. Away goes Sharif, and Sharif will go under the post for his hat-trick. Right on the hooter. Well, it's all too easy for Halifax. They didn't start playing, they didn't actually score until 20 minutes. It took Halifax to score the first points. They've made up for it in the 60 following, racking up 74 points with 14 tries, 9 conversions, and Corcoran surely making it 10 with this one in front of the post, and surely not enough time to kick off. And thankfully at this stage Halifax 8 tries in the second half, 4 conversions, nearly everybody on the Halifax side scoring. Sharif with another hat-trick and another spectacular effort late in the game. Even his brother got on the score sheet, and at the end of the day it was all too easy for Halifax, as it was expected to be. Halifax move on to the 4th round of the Challenge Cup. Easy winners at the Shea. Halifax 76, Castleford Lock Lane 0.